Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with another video. Now in my prior videos I've been sort of picking my way through the Sig P365 and Sig P365XL. Now in those videos, a number of different topics, getting to some shooting, and well, at this point I have had my 365XL to the range a couple of times. Now I do need to do quite a bit more shooting to get what I would say more comfortable and lean towards proficient with my iron sights. But with that said, I do also sort of want to experiment and advance. And with that, well, that comes optics. Now you can see here I've been building out my 365XL a little bit to get it beyond, I would say, the sort of compact firearm and more towards a mid-size home defense firearm. But where this does struggle, this cutout is a little bit undersized. So unless you're getting like the Sig Romeo Zero or something like that, you do definitely need to think about adapters. So here you will see this outer impact adapter plate. So an optics adapter plate, which will really help me out, where then at that point I can use a number of different optics, not just optics sized for the Sig P365XL, which I think is going to be great. Now, in a follow-up video, I will be looking at this Creative XP Glass Eagle in full detail. Now, people do seem to very much like this optic. It is a cheaper, I would say, budget optic, but at the same time, it's a great place for me to get started. But in order to adapt this to my firearm, I need to use this optic plate. So again, the outer impact optic plate. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to take this apart. We're going to get this optic plate adapter installed utilizing the Creative XP Glass Eagle red dot sight. And then from there, we'll see how it goes. Hopefully everything goes well. And again, in a follow-up video, we will be looking at this red dot sight in detail and getting it out to some field use. But with that said, I have a whole bunch to do and a whole bunch to share with you. And if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to get into, do me a favor, stay tuned. Now before we get too far, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at Outer Impact who did provide this product for review. And so first things first, there are a number of different adapters out there. This one I found and I liked it because of the overall size and shape and the machine quality. This is made out of machined aluminum, I believe, and with that, it's going to be nicer than sort of like a polymer adapter or a spacer. Now, again, I need to premise this entire video by saying at this point in my channel, I am literally a novice. I'm only a couple of months into owning my own personal handguns. And so, well, some of my thoughts and some of my statements may be close to the truth, but maybe off by a hair. So if you are stumbling across this video and you are more of an expert or that seasoned veteran, well, if there's anything I've learned from running my Outer Limitless YouTube channel, you guys have a ton of great advice and comments. So do me a favor, leave some comments below if there's anything that you can clarify or any other advice you might have. I would absolutely love to hear from you. And so as we get into this here, well, first things first, just making sure the firearm is clear. So clear, safe, and ready to go. So at this point, well, the first thing I need to do is pretty much take the slide off. So it is very straightforward here. Drop that takedown lever and remove my slide. So on the underside here, this does have some 5/64 inch hex heads. And my Sig P365XL did come with the hex key for this. Very straightforward. All we're going to do, take the Allen key, get in on these. Now I'm going to do this sort of as carefully as I can, but there we go. So getting on that real careful, that just loosened up simply, no problem. And on this one here, so these do start out just a little bit snug. You want to be careful, again, not to strip them. So take your time. Make sure you're burying the tool deep inside that hex head, getting it seated all the way in before you try to turn it. Now, I'm not sure exactly how this plate is going to mount. We're going to learn that together as I get through this video. But for the meantime, right now, basically all I'm doing is removing my original sights. So here, you can see this plate comes off, and here my original sights. So going to be careful with these, put them someplace clean and safe and out of the way for now. Now again, these are the two original bolts, so I'm not sure if I need these just yet, but again, I'm going to set these aside and we're going to pick our way through this and figure it out. So again, here's the Outer Impact Sig P365XL series red dot adapter. Now, this company does make a number of different products for different firearms and different things that if you need an adapter or some sort of component to build out your firearm, this is a great place to turn. They have different things like Picatinny rail adapters, night sights, and then again, these optics plates. So here, I'm going to take a look at this. So let's see, go to outerimpact.com for complete installation instructions. Well, I will probably start there. I do, when it comes to firearms, want to be specifically pretty careful, obviously for a number of different reasons, but as much as anything else, I really just don't want to cause any damage to any of my equipment, and find out had I just paid attention to one or two steps, it would have safeguarded me. So at this point, I'm just going to take a quick minute, read through their instructions, and we will continue on. Now, unfortunately, this red dot did not come with instructions that show me how to mount it to the plate. However, you can see this definitely has sort of more of that like quick adapter style, which that I believe needs to come off. And I am going to loosen these up, unthread these, and ba-boom. So no problem there. You can see this definitely had just a little bit of blue Loctite in there. That's probably a good idea. But at this point, so taking a look at how this will go, well, here's my slide. This adapter actually has a little bit of a key right there. So a key and then a tiny little sort of keyway. Sitting that in there, it just indexes absolutely perfectly. So this has to go there. The sight is going to thread in perfectly right there on top, and that's going to work out very well. So the next thing for me is really at this point figuring out how to get this locked onto the slide. And so this should be pretty straightforward. You'll see that the adapter plate, this says mount hardware, so MNT, mount hardware. So I'm going to use these two bolts here, and that should secure this onto the slide. All right, so again, taking this, indexing it down and into place, dropping this inside, and well, let's see if anything that I was supplied with fits this. I don't believe so, which is fine. So at this point, I do need to find myself a hex key, not a big deal. Now getting on these here, I think this is like a 3/32 hex key. It does seem to fit this absolutely perfect. I had no indication of exactly what size these are. Now, this is supposed to be theoretically torqued down. Looking at the instructions, it does say 15 inch-pounds. Now, at this point in my life, you'd think I would own myself a torque wrench because I've done enough stuff to kind of need one, but no, I don't. So I'm not going to over crank this, and in fact, I'm going to go as far as to say that I will probably mess around with this enough that, from time to time, I will be taking this plate off, and realistically, if it loosens up a little bit over the course of a day at the range, I'm probably not going to be totally bent by that, and it's my own fault. So I know that's a little lackadaisical. I will probably get myself an actual torque wrench because at this point I do need it. But for the meantime, I'm just going snug, and I'm not going to over tighten this because I don't want to cause damage to any of my threads. But now adding the actual red dot itself, well, the first thing is there are these little sort of indexing pins. These are quite small, and there are two of them that come with this kit. So popping them into place here. Now these are going to go on the front corners for me. This red dot actually came with a couple of them that I am going to place in the back corners. So it really will index in all four corners. I think that's going to be helpful for the overall sort of like accuracy and the inability for this to really slide around. Now on the underside of this, it does have 4 pins, which I'm going to basically set on top of the actual adapter here, and this should not be a problem. Yep, there it goes. So at this point, literally sitting exactly where it needs to. Now, the first thing I'm going to point out, the adapter plate comes with these M3 by 8mm screws, which are just slightly too short. So I went and got M3 by 10mm screws. Now, these are no longer a star bit. These are more of a Phillips, but I'm going to drop these in place here. These should thread down just about perfect. And actually with my red dot, it has a little Phillips here, so hopefully that will do. Yep, that's going to work out mighty nice. So just spinning these carefully into place, and I'm just going to get these roughly tightened up and just make sure everything looks good. So again, not going to go overly tight on anything today, just finger tight, just snug enough, just to get these kind of into place and positioned here for now. So this, to me, looking pretty good. So there you have it. This is the Creative XP Red Dot on the outer impact adapter plate sitting on the slide of the 365XL. So that looking very good. Let's get this back on the handle grip module and take a look. So just sliding this into place. Here we go. Ba-boom, awesome. Now that's looking mighty fine. And you can see, well, there's been a couple of little changes to this since the last time you saw this. It's been a little bit of time since I started the video, getting the right screws and everything I needed to do to get this worked out. So if you are going to use this combination, just word to the wise, you may need slightly longer screws, but I can tell you that the M3 by 10mm are absolutely perfect. So all right guys, there you have it, a look at mounting this outer impact adapter with the Creative XP Red Dot. Now again, this is going to apply across the board to a number of different red dots depending on what you're trying to do. Again, this was a very specific install for my needs. Now overall, going very well. As I mentioned, I did need to get slightly different hardware to make it work, but generally speaking, going very well. So I do have to say, this is going to be a follow-up video looking at this in detail, getting the actual red dot itself set up, but that will be a separate video. So that's going to be pretty much labeled as the Creative XP Red Dot Glass Eagle video. But moving forward, it will be interesting to see how this performs. Now you can definitely see getting a little bit larger here. I mean, building this out, this is becoming more and more of, I would say, like a substantial firearm at this point, and now even adding that light. So at this point, you know, having the rail adapter, having the light, having the red dot, really becoming more of sort of a complete piece. So all in all, very good. And to the people at Outer Impact, thank you very much. And so if you like this video and you want to see some more of my content, do me a favor, go to my Outer Limitless YouTube channel. If you like outdoor activities, hiking, camping, backpacking, all the backpacks, flashlights, headlamps, tents, shelters, tarps, you name it, all the way through knives and axes, my Outer Limitless YouTube channel has all of that in detail. So all right guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. I hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.